Welcome to Breaking International News.
Trump disgusted with Netanyahu. Israeli airstrikes kill 610 in Iran. Iran's previous plans for its nuclear program. Qatar goes to UN against Iran. Who won the Iran-Israel war? 6 more Mossad spies arrested in Iran. Iran denies missile attack. China opens up about ceasefire. Trump disgusted with Netanyahu. U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed extreme anger over Israel's new attack on Iran despite the ceasefire. Al Jazeera's U.S. correspondent Phil Lovell said that he is disgusted with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Lovell said that Trump is clearly very annoyed with Netanyahu. It can even be said that he feels betrayed. Trump spoke to reporters before leaving for a NATO conference in Europe. There, he said that both Israel and Iran have broken the ceasefire agreement, which is very disappointing. However, Phil Lovell said that although Trump spoke against both sides, he was more angry with Israel, especially because of Netanyahu's behavior. According to Washington sources, after receiving Netanyahu's support for the ceasefire proposal, Trump tried to get Iran to respond with the help of Qatar. However, Israel attacked Iran shortly after. Israeli airstrikes kill 610 in Iran. At least 610 people have been killed and 4,746 injured in 12 days of Israeli airstrikes in Iran, the country's health ministry said. Health ministry spokesman Hossein Kermanpour gave the latest information on Monday, local time. He said that 13 children were among the dead, the youngest of whom was only 2 months old. The list of dead includes 49 women, 2 of whom were pregnant. 971 of the injured are still undergoing treatment in hospitals, of whom 687 have undergone surgery. Kermanpour also said that 5 health workers were killed and 20 were injured. 7 hospitals were damaged or destroyed. Among them, 6 emergency care centers, 4 clinics, and 9 ambulances. Israel has been carrying out a series of airstrikes on various nuclear, military, and residential facilities in Iran since June 13. In response, Iran has also carried out a retaliatory operation. However, the number of civilian casualties and the damage to the health sector have now become a cause of deep concern for the international community. Meanwhile, according to Al Jazeera, the death toll in Israel from the Iranian attack has reached 24 so far. Many more have been injured. The Israeli health ministry did not provide any details on this matter. Iran's previous plans for its nuclear program. Iran's nuclear program was planned in advance to ensure that it was not disrupted. This was stated by the head of the country's atomic energy organization, Mohammad Eslami. The U.S. news agency CNN reported this information in a report on Tuesday, June 24. Mohammad Eslami said, Iran had planned in advance to ensure that there was no disruption to our nuclear program and industry. The report said that Israel and the United States had recently targeted several Iranian nuclear facilities that Iran knew about. These include Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. However, it is believed that the Islamic Republic of Iran may have enriched some of its equipment and uranium from these important facilities in fear of an attack. Before the conflict, Behrouz Kamalvandi, a spokesman for the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, said that the equipment at Fordow and Isfahan had been moved in fear of an Israeli attack. Meanwhile, Iran has made a new announcement about its nuclear program after the ceasefire. The head of the country's nuclear organization, Mohammad Eslami, made the announcement. This information was reported by a Reuters report on Tuesday, June 24, citing Mer News. Mohammad Eslami said that Iran is assessing the damage to its nuclear industry after the series of attacks by Israel and the United States on Iran's main nuclear facilities. In addition, necessary measures have been taken to restore it. He said that plans have been made to ensure that there is no disruption to the production and service processes. Urgent measures have been taken to quickly restore the facilities damaged in the attack, and all kinds of measures will be taken to protect national interests. Earlier, on June 22, the United States attacked Iran's nuclear facilities in Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After the attack, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the United States had attacked 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. Qatar goes to UN against Iran. Qatar has taken Iran to the UN to condemn the attack on the U.S.-run Al Udeid Air Base. The country has sent a letter to the Secretary General of the international organization. Qatar's foreign ministry said in a statement that the letter described the attack on Monday night, June 23, as an extremely dangerous provocation, and said that the attack was a clear violation of Qatar's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The letter also said that the missile attack by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) is a direct threat to peace and security in the Middle East. Qatar stressed in the statement that Qatar reserves the right to respond appropriately in accordance with the UN Charter and international law. In the meantime, the Qatari government has summoned the Iranian ambassador in Doha. Explosions were heard in Qatar and Iraq last night, Monday. Flashes of light were seen in the sky. U.S. troops have been on high alert at U.S. bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Syria since the attack. The U.S. has admitted to the attack on the U.S. base at Al Udeid in Qatar. According to the BBC, the U.S. Defense Headquarters, the Pentagon, said that the Al Udeid airbase was attacked with short and medium-range ballistic missiles launched from Iran. Qatar's foreign ministry condemned the missile attack, saying that it had intercepted all the missiles launched from Iran. Qatar's foreign ministry spokesman Majid Al-Ansari said that the attack was a clear violation of Qatar's sovereignty, airspace, and the UN Charter. Ansari claimed that Qatar's air defense system had thwarted the Iranian missile attack. The attack was successfully repelled. However, Tehran claimed that Qatar was informed before the attack to minimize damage. Iran's Supreme National Security Council said in a statement that the attack does not pose any threat to the friendly and brotherly country of Qatar or its honorable people. The Islamic Republic of Iran is committed to maintaining its long-standing warm and historic relations with Qatar. On the other hand, security and defense analyst Stefan Fruling described Iran's attack on the U.S. base as symbolic. He told the BBC, Iran wanted to convey through this warning that it does not want to engage in a larger conflict with the United States. Source: BBC. Who won the Iran-Israel war? Israel launched Operation Rising Lion in Iran. The main goal was to destroy Iran's nuclear program. The United States also demanded regime change in Iran, but both objectives failed, says Abbas Aslani, a researcher at the Center for Middle East Strategic Studies in Tehran. He told the Qatar-based media Al Jazeera that although some damage was done to the nuclear facilities, Iran had transferred uranium and technological knowledge to a secure location in advance. Iran's missile capabilities were not destroyed either, but in the recent attack they were able to hit targets in Israel. Aslani said that Iran has taken a cautious stance on the ceasefire. Nothing can be said for sure right now, but it seems that Iran will remain committed to the ceasefire. Iran has not yet given a final guarantee of the ceasefire. The reason has emerged from Israel's history of previous ceasefire violations. Israel has repeatedly broken agreements in Gaza and Lebanon. 6 more Mossad spies arrested in Iran. 6 spies of the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad have been arrested in Hamadan, Iran. They were arrested on Tuesday, June 24, Mer News Agency reported. The report said that 6 traitorous spies who were trying to implement Mossad's goals in Iran were identified and arrested in the cities of Razan, Nahavand, and Hamadan. It also said that the detainees tried to create unrest among the public and tarnish Iran's image through targeted activities in cyberspace, and by communicating with regime agents. However, proper and timely intelligence activities thwarted their activities. Earlier on Friday, June 20th, Iran arrested 54 spies associated with Mossad during the conflict between Tehran and Tel Aviv. The prosecutor's office in Iran's Khuzestan province said the arrested individuals were charged with collecting information on behalf of the enemy, spreading anti-state propaganda, spreading false information and rumors to undermine the country's internal security and social stability. Iran, which has been embroiled in a decades-long proxy war with Israel, has sentenced numerous people to death for alleged links to Mossad, particularly those accused of sabotage and assassination attempts aimed at undermining its nuclear program. Iran denies missile attack after ceasefire violation. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, claimed that 2 ballistic missiles launched from Iran entered Israeli airspace after the ceasefire, but both were successfully intercepted. As a result, tensions between the 2 countries have reached a new peak. The Times of Israel reported this information in a report. Reacting to the incident, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said, "The IDF has been ordered to respond strongly to Iran for violating the ceasefire. I have asked it to prepare for a strong attack on regime targets in the heart of Tehran." However, Tehran has rejected Israel's claim. Al Jazeera, citing Iranian state broadcaster IRIB and news agency ISNA, reported that Iran has denied any such attack. Tehran claims that it has not launched any missiles after the ceasefire and that Israel's allegations are baseless. Amidst these conflicting statements, Israeli media reported that sirens sounded in northern Israel after news of an Iranian missile attack spread and people were told to evacuate to shelters. China opens up about ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a ceasefire in Iran-Israel. China has now commented on the ceasefire. This information was reported in a report by Anadolu Agency on Tuesday, June 24. According to the report, China has expressed deep concern about the increase in tensions in the Middle East. The country has emphasized that the crisis can be resolved through talks, not war. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiaquan said at a press conference in Beijing on Tuesday, "We do not want to see a spiral of tension in the Middle East. We hope that the ceasefire will take effect soon." China made this comment after Trump's announcement of a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Guo Jiaquan also said that China is closely monitoring the situation. The country calls on all parties concerned to return to the path of political settlement. The Foreign Ministry spokesman said that military operations can never bring peace. The correct way to solve problems is dialogue and discussion. The report said that Iran launched a missile attack on the Al Udeid airbase in Qatar, which houses the U.S. military, on Monday. Earlier, the U.S. attacked 3 Iranian nuclear facilities on Sunday. In addition, Israel began attacking Iran on June 13. At that time, various important sites, including the country's nuclear facilities, were targeted. Israeli authorities said that at least 25 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in the Iranian missile attack so far. On the other hand, according to the Iranian Ministry of Health, at least 430 people have been killed and more than 3,500 injured in the Israeli attack in Iran.